So I'm what the kids might call a late bloomer. I was late to everything in life, all the time, ever. I didn't get my first girlfriend until I was 16. I didn't even start liking other people, you know, sexually until I was like 16. I grew up with my parents being kind of broke, so I was always like late to getting the newest game console. Like I'm always a generation behind, right? Like the PS5 is out right now. It'll probably be until the PS6 when I can get a PS5, unless you like and comment and subscribe and share this video everywhere so I can become a rich and famous YouTuber. You know how it is. But yeah, it's one of those things where I've always been late. And so of course, I was late to getting my driver's license, and I was late to getting my very first car, and so I was late to getting my very first car insurance. Now, if you don't know about insurance, I'm going to tell you that insurance, at least in America, is the biggest pile of shit you've ever seen in your life. Every single insurance company, no matter what type of insurance they offer, will make you pay exuberant prices every month just so they can pretend like what happened to you isn't covered under your policy. So, I get car insurance, and when I first sit down to get car insurance, I am told nothing about what's happening. They're just saying numbers at me. They're like $1,000. Yes, they're like, you have $1,000 deductible with a $400 a month car payment. You can also choose this one with a $2,000 deductible with a $3,000 car payment. You can choose this with a $1 million deductible. And if you do the $1 million deductible, then we'll give you a special on the $2,400 a month car payment. Just a bunch of numbers, right? I felt like I was back in school when I would start disassociating and you would hear the math teacher start going off about algorithms and shit like that. It just started, I just spaced out. I was like, what's the lowest per month? Oh, the $1,000 deductible with the $400 car note. Yeah, I'll do that one. I had no idea what any of those words meant. Turns out a deductible is an arbitrary number that insurance companies make you pay out of pocket before they will cover whatever claim you have. I didn't know this. Now, the problem with this is that one, what am I fucking giving you money for? And two, if you don't have your deductible, you get to eat shit, which is the American government's favorite food. So, I'm driving down the highway one day, and while I'm driving to go pick up a ride, a rock gets flung out from a tire. And it's a very tiny rock. It's very, very small. It's smaller than my dick, which is saying something because my dick is on microscopic levels. But it hits my windshield in just the right place to create a thin hairline fracture all the way across my windshield, which cannot be repaired. So I call my insurance. I was like, hey, just to let you know, I need you guys to cover the $300 repair costs of my windshield. And she goes, we can't do that. I was like, I'm sorry, did I miss a payment? She goes, no. I said, okay. So why can't you cover it then? And she says, well, your deductible is higher than the cost of the windshield. I said, what's that mean? She said, well, your deductible is the amount that you have to pay out of pocket before we will cover anything else. And I said, that doesn't make sense. It's a $300 windshield repair. I give you guys $300 every month. And she was like, I know, but your deductible is higher. I said, I don't care if the deductible is higher. I've been paying you guys $300 every month for the past year and a half. Surely you could just go back into one of those months and pull out that $300 and replace my windshield, and you will still have a profit. And she goes, no, sir, your deductible is higher than the windshield. I said, then what am I paying you guys for? And she said, in case something happens. I said, good news, something happened. My fucking windshield got cracked. Or have I been talking to somebody else for the past 45 fucking minutes? I ended up having to get my buddy to loan me the money to pay the fucking thing to fix my goddamn windshield. So we ended up getting the windshield fixed. About a year and a half later, I'm parked outside of a Walmart in the middle of the night, which is probably not the greatest idea. I go into the store, I get what I need, I come back out, and my bumper and my headlight is all fucked up. Completely busted. It looked like somebody either backed into it or took a baseball bat to it, or I don't know, but it's all fucked up. So I called my insurance company and I said, hey, this is what happened. And they said, okay, well, we need to get the security footage. Or we would have, except the cameras that were pointed at my car weren't working. So we can't prove that somebody else damaged my fucking car. The insurance company basically tells me that if I want my car to be covered, that I have to present them pictures for before and after the incident happened. I said, that is stupid. The most recent picture I have is from when I first bought the car. Who's randomly taking pictures of the front of their car? Eventually, I climb the fucking corporate ladder enough, and I get to somebody who's willing to do the coverage. And I say, okay, it's going to cost $2,500 to fix the car. They said, okay, we'll send you a check for $1,500. $2,500. Yeah, we'll send you a check for $1,500. $2,500. Well, sir, your deductible is only $1,000. There's that fucking word again. So I eventually ask him, I say, what is the point of having insurance if every time something happens, you guys are going to throw deductibles in my face and you're going to basically tell me that you're not going to cover what's happening to me? And he goes, well, sir, you have insurance in case something happens. Brilliant thing! Something fucking happened! What finally got me to realize how bad of a scam insurance is. I had been clean driving for about 2 years. And I go to check my insurance bill because I'm about to pay it. And when I see is a $100 increase. And I was like, that's weird. I haven't gotten in an accident. I haven't done anything. I haven't filed a claim. What's going on? So I call them. I call them up. And the lady answers the phone. And I said, hey, I'm trying to figure out why my insurance went up. Well, yeah, have you filed a claim? No. Have you gotten in an accident? No. She goes, hold on. So she disappears for like 10 minutes. And she comes back. And she says, well, sir, we figured it out. I was like, oh, great. So we can get this taken care of. Your insurance went up because accidents in your area have increased. Excuse me? She said, yeah, the accidents in your zip code have gone up. I said, what the fuck's that got to do with me? She goes, well, you see, sir, more accidents in your area means you're more at risk. Means that if something happens to your car, we have to pay more money. There's more likely of a chance. So the area you live in has actually created an influx and a rise in price. I said, so let me get this straight. I've been a good little boy like my dominatrix told me to. I haven't gotten in any accidents in 2 years. I haven't filed any claims. I haven't done anything that would make my insurance go up. But because some jackass on 32nd Street hit a light pole last week, I've got to pay more money. And she goes, yes, sir. And I responded, fuck you. And I hung up the phone.